Good morning, my fellow geography buffs. This is Ali and welcome back to Urban Atlas. For the past few weeks, we've been exploring Canada's strangest islands. So we continue that trend today and we move on to another very strange island with a uniquely strange name. Located off the northeast coast of Newfoundland, today we explore Funk Island. Now, Funk Island is a small, flat island located off Newfoundland's northeast coast, approximately 60 kilometers east of Fogo Island. Like I previously mentioned, the island is quite small. It's approximately 800 meters in length and 400 meters in width. The island rises 15 meters out of the North Atlantic Ocean and has a relatively flat surface. Now, the island is home to some unique geology. You see, the island is actually traversed by two separate fault lines that divide the island into three different areas, with the northeastern section being primarily barren rock, and the southwestern section being home to the vast majority of the vegetation on the island. Now, you're probably wondering why the island is called Funk Island, and there's a pretty good reason for that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. You see, the island has a very fascinating history. Famous mariners such as Jacques Cartier once visited the island, and most did so because of the abundant amount of eggs and birds found on the island. In fact, Funk Island was the favored hunting ground for many people, both European and native. The birds were so abundant that people used to come to the island to collect the birds, remove their feathers, and consume the birds, or in some cases just throw away the bodies altogether. Now, what makes the island extremely special is that it was home to the great auk. Now, the great auk is a species of flightless bird that actually became extinct in the mid-19th century. The great auk actually resembled the penguins of the southern hemisphere. And because of this, before the 18th century, Funk Island was actually known as Penguin Island. Now, during the 18th century, the hunting, collection, and slaughtering of the great auk became almost commercial on the island. In fact, on the western end of Funk Island, hunters actually created enclosures out of granite blocks where they herded the great auk to make slaughtering easier. And because of this, the great auk went extinct on the island around the year 1800. And thus, Funk Island is the main source of the great auk skeletons found in museums all across the world. Today, Funk Island is home to more than 1 million seabirds, including the world's largest breeding colony of the common murre. Other birds such as the Atlantic puffin and the razorbills are also found on the island. And because of the large presence of different seabirds, the government of Newfoundland and Labrador designated Funk Island as an ecological seabird reserve. In fact, Funk Island may be one of the most important seabird colonies in the entire world, and thus unauthorized visits are prohibited on the island. But that still leaves the question, why is it called Funk Island? Well, it's called Funk Island because of the odor of the island. Because of the over 1 million birds that reside on the island smells pretty bad. In fact, the smell arises from the nitrate and the phosphate concentrations found in the bird guano. Keep in mind, the birds have been there for centuries, so this is a centuries-long accumulation of guano. So yes, the island is called Funk Island because it smells funky on the island. While the island is prohibited for visiting, if you do get visiting rights, landing on Funk Island is extremely difficult and very dangerous. And thus, no activities are permitted on Funk Island other than scientific research. But commercial and recreational fishing can occur in the waters of the reserve. However, all provincial and federal regulations apply when fishing in the reserve. Despite its history, today Funk Island stands as a safe haven for seabirds. It also stands as a reminder of how human activity can result in the extermination of a wildlife species such as the great auk. And thus, Funk Island deserves its spot on our list of Canada's strangest islands. Its interesting name, unique wildlife, and devastating history makes it a prime candidate for Canada's strangest island. And as always, if you like content like this, subscribe to my channel, give me a follow, comment below what you want to see next, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.